Welcome into a live Locked On Lions squad show. My name is Jake Riepma, fired up to talk Lions Giants because we need a bounce back. And I think Ford Field at 1 o'clock is exactly the recipe for that.
Natalie Kerwin here with FanDuel Sports Network. And Jake, I'm surprised you didn't use the phrase "get right game."
That's right.
As you like to always say. So I'll say it for you. The
Thank
Lions
you.
need this get right game on Sunday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon against this Giants team, with or without Jackson Dart. The Lions need to get it done. Bradford Banta.
Bradford Banta here, 22-year NFL veteran. And after that 0-5 fourth down fiasco in Philly, you better believe Dan's got a playlist loaded and ready to unload on the Giants.
One pride. It's the Lions Squad. Everything Detroit Lions every week. Breaking down all the big hits and game-changing plays from the Motor City. The way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. From the roar of the Lions to the next great chapter, the Lions Squad Show starts now.
And here we go. Welcome in, Jake Riepma, Natalie Kerwin, Bradford Banta, fired up as always to be with you on the #1 sports podcast platform, the Locked On Podcast Network. This is your live Locked On Lions squad show. Make sure you like today's video. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, because boy, do we have a doozy of a show lined up. It's a get right game, Nat. I loved your intro. You said it first, so now I'm not guilty of being the first one to say it, but we got it on the marquee. It is a get right game because damn it, the Lions need it. That's right. We are less than 2 minutes in, and I've already irritated my guy Bradford Banta. But wait, hey, we're gonna have Marshall Green join the show. He runs the largest Giants YouTube platform. 96,000 subscribers, Giants now. So we'll get all the inside information, a little crossover Thursday for you. And, we got Nat's Notes and Coach's Corner all lined up. But Bradford, if I haven't irritated you enough with my get right game sentiment, that Nat's with me on it. How are you today?
Well, I was doing great this morning until all that got brought up. I mean, now, you just get me straight into coach mode, and I'm just like, oh my God. I mean, have you purchased your ticket for the game yet? That's my question, because I mean, you're just talking like a true fan, hey. Unless you have your press pass and you're using these words to grab the attention and grab the headlines to drive readers or subscribers to this podcast.
Hey, it's not a bad strategy. Here's my press pass right now. If you're watching, on YouTube, Big J journalist Jake Riepma right here, new headshot and everything, guys, ready to go.
It's big time.
Yeah, good hair.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Not too many gray ones yet. A couple of them though. We're working on that. But Nat, how are you today?
I'm good, guys. I'm good. I'm doing well. Didn't want to piss off Bradford this early in the day, but we're already there. So check. Jake.
Hey. There we go.
We're all ready to go.
We're on the right road.
We are on the right road. Ready to get to Sunday. I think we're excited to see what, how the Lions can bounce back. I feel like they're this week. I'm just interested to see what they were able to dive into, what they were able to discuss, because there was a lot to go over this week. A lot of different things between Dan Campbell, Jared Goff. How can Amon-Ra St. Brown get back to his old self? There's a lot of things that we can discuss between us, but the team itself, I'm sure, had a lot of, wake up calls per se coming back from Philly. So, but I'm doing well. I got my coffee in me. I'm on cloud nine. Pistons are still doing well. Life is good. 11-game win streak right now. So we're feeling good.
I love that. They need to send some of that winning over to the Detroit Lions. But Nat, you made a really good point there just a second ago, and I was having this conversation. I'm curious both of your thoughts with it for basically up until last year, even when the Lions at the beginning of the Dan Campbell era and started to rise to where they are now as one of the premier teams in the National Football League. A Sunday day game at 1 o'clock. That was the norm. And now from a scheduling note, because the Lions are playing more primetime games, Monday night games. Obviously, they've always played Thanksgiving, but doesn't this feel, and maybe I'm just jumping too much into it, but just an opportunity to get back to all athletes are creatures of habits, but a normal routine, a Sunday day game. Bradford's already mad at me, but come on, Bradford, as a coach, as a player, isn't there just something about taking a deep breath, reset, back at home, Sunday, 1 o'clock kickoff at Ford Field? And I can already tell by your face, I'm making way too much of that.
Yeah, you're making, yes, to answer your question, you're making way too much of it. I was thinking before the show, if you go back, just talking about this season, what the Lions have to do, granted, we're going to get to Philly, talk, just recap the game and then get into the Giants with the 1 o'clock game on Sunday and your supposed reset and all this kind of stuff. Jake, we're freaking 11, 12 weeks into the season. How are you going to hit reset? But anyway, some teams have already done it. The Giants have already done it because they let go of Brian Daboll, their head coach. Now they have Kafka leading the charge. But here's the questions that I would hope is being asked inside of the Allen Park training facility. With the success that the Lions have had in years past, especially last year on the road, what is missing this year that they haven't been able to find? Because they're 3 losses, was it 3? Yeah, 3 of the losses, I believe, have come on the road. You got Green Bay, 3
Kansas City,
Kansas City, and then Philadelphia. That's the question that has to be answered inside the facility by front office, coaching staff, and players upon reflection of what they have accomplished so far this season. And, can they use this game to vault to better things? Should they take care of the Giants? Yes and yes. Now, and then use that to parlay into a back-to-back home game, then playing Green Bay the following Thursday on Thanksgiving. And then after that, then we go on the road, and we have to take care of business on the road. We have to figure that out, because the way things are playing out, if and when the Detroit Lions make it into the playoffs, they are not going to be playing a home game right now. Just food for thought.
No, that's huge. And everybody, I try to bring in as much outside perspective, sometimes just from my contacts and day to day with, working at the Cowboys flagship and just an overall NFL conversation. Sunday night did a lot for a lot of people to reignite the narrative of Jared Goff being unable to play in cold weather against a tough defense. And Marshall Green, who we'll talk with in just a second, talking to him last night, he asked an interesting question. Is the fan base ready to move on from Jared Goff? And I thought, no, absolutely not. That's way too reactionary. But again, just from an outsider's perspective, because, from week to week, we're not watching every single game, but you get a Sunday night standalone game like that, and you see the performance that Jared Goff and that offense had. It's only human nature to have that type of reaction. And obviously that's way, way too outlandish of a reaction. But at the same time, Lions fans and everybody else, there was an element of doubt planted in the offense's ability because of those shortcomings that we saw on Sunday night. I went back and watched the all 22 in a couple of different sequences, not the entire game by any means, but I kept going back to Amon-Ra St. Brown not being able to create separation in a lot of his routes as well. And we had this conversation after the Green Bay game. When it rains, it pours sometimes, and there were missed assignments on the offensive line, which has a trickle-down effect. And then the floodgates opened quite a bit as far as offensive failures. And again, not to just do the roller coaster ride, but at the same time, it felt like, okay, big step forward with Washington. You question the quality of opponent there. And then on a big stage, too many shortcomings to not have a little bit of a thought of, hey, we need to bounce back here.
Here's So the question I have, and this is everybody and their mother can come to you with problems. Okay. But it really takes somebody, okay, you come at me with a problem. So what is your solution? That's what I ask you. And this is concerning Jared Goff. And it's a question that you always have to ask yourself, okay, who's going to come in and replace him at this moment or, in the offseason? What are the financial ramifications of moving on from Jared Goff and replacing him with another quarterback? Who that quarterback is, I don't know. But Jared Goff is still playing a high level of football.
And still the heart and soul of the city.
And it's like, who would you – yeah, I mean, if you were to go to the other 31 teams, and I would say there will probably be – probably let's just say 20. No, let's say 18 to 20 teams. If the Lions went to 18 to 20 of those teams and they said, hey, we want to trade Jared Goff for your guy, straight up, are you game? And 18 to 20 of those teams is like, where do we sign? Let's get it done. So, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, because it is – Jared is playing at a high level. Did he have a down game?
Apologist, yeah.
Yeah. So, he had a down game. But it's – and that's in everybody's MO. I mean, everybody's going to have a down game. His is just more magnified because of the position that he plays.
Correct. And we've been hyping him up all season. We're all Jared Goff lovers here, right? You know what I mean? And I look at you, Jake Riepma, because you were the first one to be in line for his fan club. But it's true. I'm right there with you.
I appreciate that.
Been praising him all season long, whether it's records that he's, I can't name stats off the top of my head right now, but he had like 3 straight games without a sack. And I feel like throughout the first couple of weeks, we were just praising different parts about his game and elements of him as a QB that we love to see and why he's at an elite level right now. And so one bad game, yes, it is magnified, to your point, Bradford, because of the team he's on. The Lions are they're one of the elites in the NFL. So they are put on the biggest of stages. So they are one bad game and every little thing is being pinpointed. And so it is magnified to an extent. So yeah, Jared had a rough day in the office, right? But I don't think this is how it's going to carry over week to week, right? I mean, he's the first one that's going to tell you that. So I think it's unfair to say that people would want Jared Goff out. That's the last thing. I feel like I haven't read any of that. People from an outside perspective may say that. Are Lions fans going to want Goff not here next year? Well, I don't think they're going to want Kyle Allen under center right now the rest of the season. So, come on.
I also, and some of this is probably on me. It's probably all on me because I do sometimes do the sourcing on the Facebook and the Twitter and everything at the X. And that's just where you get a lot of logic and rational, well thought out statements that are made, especially in the moment. So you could understand why I was crowdsourcing from all different sources. But Nat, the most important thing that you said in all of that is that I have been a Jared Goff believer from the start. I want the record to show. My last show on 97.1 The Ticket, it was in August of 2023 before I moved on. And, not that anybody cares, but I just said Jared Goff is going to go down as the greatest Lions quarterback of all time. Legacy talk. We love some good legacy talk. And he has the opportunity to be cemented as the best quarterback in Lions history. And obviously at that time, the trade was still a little bit more fresh than it is now. Nobody's looking back at that trade. But at that time, I just felt so convicted in that belief. And I am just so grateful that I can at least be validated in that, because not that we're doing the old head argument here of this quarterback versus that quarterback, but we can all agree that Jared Goff has done things for this franchise that many deemed impossible for many, many years.
Yeah, I mean, when you're starting a Jared Goff chant around the city of Detroit, bro, when you're starting a Jared Goff chant around the nation, I feel like other teams that have nothing to do with Detroit were randomly starting Jared Goff chants in the stands.
Were
like
they?
Yes. Have you guys seen that? At least last year, I felt like I saw that. There were random Jared Goff chants at random games.
That's our guy. I never saw that. I remember it was a big thing at Red Wings games, and some hockey heads were not pleased about that.
Pistons too.
I love it.
It still happens. It's crazy. Anyways, it's become a whole movement.
No doubt.
But if that doesn't tell you the impact that he's had on this city alone, but just in the sports world, right? He has made an impact here in Detroit, Jake, and he absolutely, we will look back on, I mean, what he's doing right now. And we can see it here in the moment that he's a hell of a quarterback, right? And what he is doing right now with this Lions team, what he's done here for the last couple of years, he is great at what he does. And he might not be the most mobile, athletic guy when you compare him to other quarterbacks in this league, but he brings a lot of other intangibles that sometimes that you can't teach, right? The IQ that he brings. And Bradford, you may be able to explain more from just, an X's and O's perspective from what you see in a quarterback more than I can explain. But I just feel like he brings a lot to the table that sometimes we undervalue when you look at a guy like Jared Goff, truly. So what do you see from him that we need to take more value in?
Wins.
Well, that's straight up.
He does. Look, I think he does an excellent job of taking care of the ball. I think he does a great job of dissecting defense. I think you're looking at a highly intelligent player. He makes the most out of with what he has to work with. And I'm talking about not only his physical and mental attributes, but also the players around him. And then it's up to the coaches to put every player in position to make plays. And that's one thing that I think that this coaching staff has done on the offense as a whole, is to put them in position to have success. And what they've also done, but that's where the players have to come in and execute. And it's basically, what have you done for me lately? And unfortunately, versus the Eagles, hey, I'd say that the offensive team as a whole did not play well. And whenever you're averaging, was it 29.2 points per game, it was over 30, I believe, going into the Philadelphia game, and then they come out with 9 points. That's not enough. It's not enough.
But you know what? A get-right game against the New York Giants is the perfect opportunity to turn that around. And we are going to talk all things New York Giants. I set it up that way perfectly so that Bradford can't come back at me. And we will talk with Marshall Green, the host of Giants Now, for a little New York Giants perspective on the matchup. Don't go anywhere. The live Locked On Lions Squad Show continues in just a second. Hey, today's episode of the Locked On Lions Squad Show is brought to you by our good friends at Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every single day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement of this sports season. Whether you're following the NFL, NBA, or both, there's no better time to jump in on the action than right now. And if you haven't tried it yet, Prize Picks is the simplest way to play. You just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats, and if you get them right, you win. It takes less than 60 seconds to make your lineup, and you can play anywhere Prize Picks operates. That includes California, Texas, and Georgia. I've been using Prize Picks during both football Sundays and NBA tip-offs. That's right, because the Pistons are the best team in the Eastern Conference, way better than the New York Knicks. That's very clear. And you know what? I love the new stacks feature. It's a game changer. You can now pick more on points, 3-pointers, assists, and so much more on the same lineup. So download the Prize Picks app today. Use that code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNFL for $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Welcome back to the live Locked On Lions squad show. And joining us now for a little New York Giants perspective, the host of Giants Now, but also the host of Knicks Now. And I don't know if you caught that or not in the live read, Mr. Marshall Green.
I heard it.
We might have a little reunion in the postseason because the Pistons are gunning for your Knicks. You and I had a chance to see them live last night. But hey, you told me last night, so tell the rest of our audience, Natalie Kerwin here is the sideline reporter for the Detroit Pistons. So let us know what you think of our Detroit Pistons first and foremost.
Yeah, I'm honestly kind of hoping the Knicks don't face off against the Detroit Pistons again in the playoffs this year. I was really impressed with the way the Pistons played last year, and to see them kind of take another step this year, I mean, the fan base has to be pumped up about it. I've been a huge Cade Cunningham fan since he was in high school. I think he's one of the best players in the NBA. Somehow I feel like he's still being underrated by the NBA media. They just hate Detroit basketball, my guy, Jake Riepma. But no, if you're a Pistons fan, you got to be pumped up. They look good. Duren has been awesome. Yeah, I don't love that matchup for the Knicks this year, but we might get it in the Eastern Conference Finals.
I love it. I love it. I apologize for throwing the curveball there. That was not on
right
the
when I logged in. I saw that. I was like, love it.
But Marshall Green is with us on the live Locked On Lions squad show. I'll probably say Pistons before the segment is over here. But thanks so much for joining us. Before we dive into the matchup, my fellow co-hosts are upset with me for continuing to call this a get-right game for the Detroit Lions. But Bradford Banta both played in the NFL, coached in the NFL, and that is like fingernails on a chalkboard to a coach. I get that all the way. But at the same time, can you help me convince Coach Bradford Banta here that this is a get-right game for our Detroit Lions?
Yeah, I mean, you're getting to play the New York Giants. That's an opportunity to right your wrongs, get back on track, and get things going. I mean, go through the Giants season. The Eagles couldn't run the ball. They play the Giants a second time. Saquon Barkley goes off for 100 yards. The Chicago Bears, they started to run the ball a little bit better. They were able to do that against the New York Giants. It seems like every time a team needs a get-right game, go back last week, the Green Bay Packers coming off that loss against the Philadelphia Eagles. They play the New York Giants. Comes down to the wire. The Giants had the Jameis Winston and the interim head coach boost, but it wasn't enough. The Packers were able to overcome that. Look, I am not too optimistic for my football team walking into this one and getting a W. Sounds like Jackson Dart is on track to play. He gives me a little bit of hope, but yeah, not to upset Mr. Banta, but I do think this is a get-right game for the Detroit Lions.
I got no comeback for you, Marshall, because I look, this league, and through your covering it, is designed for parity. Yep. And any team can win on any day. And if you happen to overlook any team, they're going to come out and they're going to whoop you. And the Lions can't do that. Now, given the Lions' propensity to come in after a loss and win big, especially win big at home, I think it's very, it bodes well in the Detroit Lions' favor over the New York Giants. But look, and I think you touched on it a little bit. I mean, we've seen the numbers talking about defensively.
Yeah.
So bottom 5 in points allowed, over 4,000 yards already given up this season. And, and Thibodeau even called the defense unacceptable a couple of weeks ago. What's broken? Is it personnel, scheme, mindset? What's your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, my first question would be, how long do you have? How long can we talk about what's broken with the Giants? But on a serious note, they just, the Giants' strength of this team is to rush the passer. And in football, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. You got to win on first down. You got to win on second down. And the New York Giants, they haven't really done that this year, especially when they do win on first down and say it's 2nd and 12, 2nd and 13. The Giants are the worst second and long team in the NFL. I didn't even know there was a stat for that going into this season. But the New York Giants, they are the best. They're the best at it right now. They don't stop the run. Doesn't matter if they roll out 7 in the box. Doesn't matter if they try to put 8 in the box. They just do not stop the run. And then When you don't stop the run, that opens up everything for an offense on the other side. Play action. You could take shots over the top. And coming into this season for the Giants, I said it a million times, if the Giants are going to be good this year, it's because they're going to have a top 5, top 10 pass rush. And while Brian Burns is having a defensive player of the year type of season, Kayvon Thibodeau has been solid. Dexter Lawrence has been okay compared to his standards, which were best in the league. Maybe now he's playing at a 10th best nose tackle, defensive tackle type of season. Abdul Carter, he is the best guy in the NFL getting pressures, but to quote John Gruden, I don't want pressures. I want sacks. Get him on the ground. So the Giants, they haven't been able to finish plays. And that's been the whole season. They don't finish. They don't finish plays. They don't finish quarters. They don't finish halves. And they definitely don't finish games. They've blown 4 fourth-quarter leads so far this year.
The Lions defense has been a big part of what they can hang their hat on lately, especially even though in that loss on Sunday to Philly, it wasn't pretty for the Lions offense, but at least the defense is able to show out. For Lions fans that haven't gotten a chance to really watch any Giants football or seen a lot of Jackson Dart, if he does come back on Sunday, what are his strengths? What can Lions fans expect, and how can he hurt Calvin Shepard's defense on Sunday?
Yeah, for Dart, the thing that I've been most impressed about, which for all rookie quarterbacks I think is a struggle, is moving the chains on third down. How do you operate on third down? And Dart this year, if you want to nerd out a little bit, he's at the top of the league in EPA per play on third down. He has been really good at digging the Giants out of a hole. He can make that second play where if the first read isn't open, he's able to escape out of the pocket. He's able to create, improvise, and scramble. And that has been, outside of creating on third down, like just his ability when that first play breaks down, get outside the pocket, move his feet, to do so with the intent to throw the ball. A lot of times you see these athletic quarterbacks come in the league, they want to use their legs to run the football, and Dart does that. Got to learn to slide as well. That's something that's been holding him back a little bit. Only been in the concussion tent 4 times this year. But using his legs to throw the ball downfield has been one of his greatest strengths as well. So you're going to see a guy that's a gamer. He's going to take some chances. He's going to tuck it and run it. He's going to look to improvise when the pocket breaks down. Overall, I've been really impressed with him. I hoped and believed he was going to be a good quarterback his rookie year, but he has passed my expectations in that regard. The thing is, the Giants don't have the most talent on the offensive side right now. We know Malik Neighbors is out for the year. Cam Scadaboo, a rookie sensation, he is out for the year. And it sounds like Darius Slayton, who is their wide receiver 1 at this point, he didn't practice on Wednesday, so I don't know if he's going to play this week. So you could be looking at a wide receiver core that is Wan'Dale Robinson and Isaiah Hodgins, who I like Hodgins, but they picked him up last week. Probably should have been on the team since week 1, but they're just trying to piece this puzzle together. And the lack of playmakers on offense has kind of hindered them. Surprisingly, the Giants offense has been better than their defense this year. You never would have thought that coming into the year. But for Dart, he's going to be aggressive. He's going to try to throw the ball downfield. They're going to run the ball a lot. I expect the Giants to do that. Last week with Mike Kafka, his first game as the offensive coordinator or interim head coach, but really his offense. I felt like he was running a Brian Daboll offense, and he was kind of just doing what made Brian Daboll happy to wrap it up quickly. But now he has full control. He gets to create everything. They're going to run the ball a lot. Last week against Green Bay, they ran the ball 20 times on 29 first downs. So they want to set the tone. They want to play smash mouth football. We'll see if they're able to do that against a team in Detroit that kind of specializes in that.
Marshall Green is with us on the live Locked On Lions squad show. He's the host of Giants Now by Chat Sports, certified ball knower, as you can hear with the knowledge, the stats, the EPA. It's the way, that's way too much to fit in my dumb football brain.
It hurts my brain, but I thought it made me sound cool.
Oh, yeah, it absolutely. You're all over. But what I'm interested in, and you would have better insight on this than a lot of people, Bradford kind of alluded to it, that the NFL is built on parity. And while the Giants are down right now, they're an iconic franchise with prestigious history and everything else. They won't stay down for long. What do you hopefully what do you hope the organization does as far as the next chapter and the direction, obviously given the moves that they've made already to kind of turn the page?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's the $1 million question right now.
Thank you, Big J journalist over here.
They got to get the head coach right. I think Lions fans can speak to that. When you get the right guy in there, someone that can lead men, motivate men, and get people to really form an identity and a team feel in that locker room, that is almost sometimes more important than just the overall talent you have on that roster. And the Giants have kind of been lacking that since I feel like Brian Dable first took over in his first year, where he won Coach of the Year and they won a playoff game on the road. Look, I'm not the biggest fan of the general manager, Joe Shane, for the New York Giants. I feel like he's just had too many premium picks that he hasn't hit home runs on. And I am kind of the belief that they just need to clean house, get a head coach who wants to work with a GM. Because I feel like that's a problem too. When you have a GM come in into the organization on this timeline and a head coach on this timeline, it's not matched up. That rarely works out. So for me, I'm looking for a head coach that can command a room. I'm hoping maybe the Packers make a mistake and fire their head coach after the year. Maybe the New York Giants can steal him, or maybe the Steelers, or you have another team in the NFL fire their head coach that's on the hot seat. But there's some young minds out there. Chris Shula, the defensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Rams, he's got the NFL bloodline going with him. Shout out to the Don. But I don't know. I mean, can you get somebody in there that can win some games? The Giants had the second most losses in the NFL in the last 10 years with their buddies, the New York Jets. So someone that can win some games, someone that can build an identity. And I think that starts at the top down. John Mara, pray for him every day, rooting for him. He's battling with cancer right now. We want him to kick its butt. I don't know if the Giants are in a spot to do a regime change and clean house and do all that. But I think it's needed. And I think in life, when you don't make the tough decisions you need to, they're always going to come back to bite you. And the Giants, they didn't fire them last year, and they do it this year. And they should have done it last year. They're all over the place, want to win some games. I would like to see someone come in, more of a CEO type of head coach, kind of like Dan Campbell, and get a good coordinator on both sides. But I'll just take the best coach. That's what I'm looking for at this point.
I got one last question to leave you with, Marshall. I know the Lions won't have to face him on Sunday because he's hurt, but Cam Scatterbo, just from the outside looking in, how crazy is that guy? Because he just filled headlines this year, and his teammates seem to think he's just the nuttiest dude, but he's a freaking bowling ball out there. So I just got to ask from your perspective. I had to know.
Yeah. Every time one of his teammates talk about him, they just say, yeah, he's crazy. It's like, oh, yeah, Cam's crazy. It's like they've just accepted it at this point. We saw him at WWE, and wrestling's fake, whatever. I didn't love that my running back who had a shattered ankle that needed emergency surgery 17 days later was getting pushed ringside. But I guess it's fake, and I'm the one overreacting. He's awesome. He's as crazy as he is to the outside world. He's an awesome teammate. Everybody loves him. He and Jackson Dart just brought a spark and a winning attitude to this team. I mean, you go back to last year, Scatterbo at Arizona State. He rallied that team deep into the college football season last year. And those two brought, and I know they've only won 2 games. 2 of those games were at the beginning of the season before the team completely fell off the rails. They brought we're going to do whatever it takes to try to win a football game. They're missing that right now. But yeah, I love Cam Scatterbo. He is an easy guy to root for. I've already got 2 jerseys coming this way for me, but I'm a big fan. I'm excited. How can you not be? I mean,
I love it.
When you think of just a football player, it is Cam Scatterbo, and I am happy he's a New York Giant.
Well, when you think of a ball knower, you think of Marshall Green. This has been awesome, man. Appreciate you hopping on. We'll definitely be staying in touch both with the NFL, the NBA, and everything else, man.
Can I ask one question? Am I allowed to ask a question?
This is your show. You do it, man.
If the Lions lose this game, or what does it look like if the Lions lose this game, in y'all's opinion?
It is a get-right game, so they won't lose. But
it's going to be an uphill battle from here on out. I mean, it's going to be must-win situation, because you will have lost to a team that is 2-9 right now.
Yep.
In an expected win, you're coming off of a loss, and in Dan Campbell's regime, they haven't lost back-to-back games, coming off of losses. And it would be, let's just say a loss to the Giants this weekend would be a shock to the world, or to the NFL world. But it would be a definite shot inside the locker room and in the Allen Park training facility as well.
We might cancel Locked On Lions in the squad show if they lose. That is.
Hey, the Panthers podcast did that, and then they won like 4 games in a row. So maybe you try. That.
Anything for our squad, whatever it takes. But Marsh, all the best to you, my guy. Appreciate it so much. Any flag football stuff coming up? I meant to tell you guys. Marsh is a big time flag football.
We're going back to Florida in January to do the World Championships on CBS Sports. We'll see how that goes. Maybe get to call the Olympics one day. That's the goal.
I was going to ask you doing the Olympics.
That's the goal. Trying to put a little resume together. This will be my second year doing so. I love flag football. I just love football, just like Jake Riepma. Appreciate you guys having me on. This was a blast.
We'll do it again, man. All the best. Appreciate it. That's Marshall Green, the host of the Giants Now show on YouTube. Make sure you check it out. He's awesome. He does Knicks content on YouTube as well. And as you can tell, entertaining, fiery guy, and just a good voice and a good dude to have on for sure.
And 2 Cam Scadaboo jerseys coming in the mail soon. Glad we got that little bit of information coming out of him.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, we got Nat's notes coming up next. Nat, where are we going next?
Where are we going? Let's see. Of course, we got to hit on the injury report. We don't always love that, but we have to. We do have one guy probably coming back on Sunday. So I'm not going to give that away now. We're going to break it all down when we come back on the other side of this break.
That's a tease. Nat's notes is next. This episode of the Locked On Lions Squad Show is brought to you by FanDuel. That's right. The NBA season is in full swing. The NFL's going on right now. You got college football. You got everything. And FanDuel is the official sports betting partner of the NBA. And even if you miss the start of the game or you want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to maybe some fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head on over to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Cruising right along on the live Locked On Lions Squad Show. I don't know if you're watching live on YouTube and if you guys can tell, but it just got about 10 shades darker as a giant storm moves in. And if and
no
when
pun intended. No pun intended.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Correct. But we got Nat's notes going on right now. Natalie Kerwin.
Woo. Okay, here we go. So, Malcolm Rodriguez, guys. Guess what?
Let's go, Rodrigo.
Woo, 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 Rodrigo. Dan Campbell indicated that he'd likely return this coming Sunday against the New York Giants. So good news for the defense. Activated off the PUP list just in time for a run-heavy opponent in the New York Giants. So this could be great, especially on special teams. He hasn't played since around last Thanksgiving. It's been a year. So it's been a long time for Rodrigo, long time in the making, but Lions would be excited to have a guy like him back. He brings a lot of juice to this team. And of course, the Lions have missed a guy like that, right? He's been working really hard to, just rehab throughout the year and get healthy. And so I guess I'll just start with you, Jake. How big is that for a defense that's, is about to see a rushing attack like the Giants and, a quarterback, if Jackson Dart does come back, a quarterback like that who can run?
It's massive. And I would also say the way that he ramped, if that's a word, ramped up. Yeah, that's probably the better way to put it. Words are hard. Yeah, ramped on up. But you have that the 21-day window that we talk about all the time. And his was opened a decent, a couple of weeks ago. And not that there's any proper timeline, and it totally depends on each specific injury, but at the same time, I feel like the correct and adequate amount of time was taken to make sure that he's stepping in at a favorable time for himself, because we as fans, as everything, and even pretty much coaching staff and everybody, you have to trust that certified athletic training staff on what that timeline looks like, because it's different for every single player and every single injury. So from a morale perspective, love it. From a benefit to the defense, love it. But Bradford, and I'm sure you can reiterate and attest to that same process as well, where you have to do right by the individual first and foremost. And it feels like that has been done in this case.
It has been done in this case, and you're looking at a full, 12-month recovery for Rodriguez. And they are in lockstep talking about the training staff and the coaching staff and the front office. It seems like everybody was in lockstep in receiving daily reports and updates on his progress through the total rehab situation that Malcolm went through. And to bring him back at this point is actually a good thing. And it's already been pointed out by Shepard that this guy, even as a rookie, he was performing better than most veterans. Why? Because he was prepared. One of the lessons that I was told whenever I first got into the league, there's two things that will keep you in the league. One is be on time, and then two, know what you're doing. You should already have the athletic ability. This guy from jump has shown that he has the athletic ability and the wherewithal, i.e. smarts, to get it done in this league. And with as much 3 linebacker defense that the Detroit Lions play, he will be inserted in the game, and there will not be a fall off in the play of the linebacker core. You throw into the amount of plays that he will play on defense, and then insert him as a 4-core player on special teams, you hopefully see that play elevated as well. So it could be a nice little boost of energy for the Detroit Lions going into this game and then finishing out the season in a positive manner.
So good piece of news for the defense. As far as a gut punch for the offense, which we saw on Sunday, no Sam Laporta. He is on injured reserve for a minimum of 4 games. So that included Sunday's game against Philly. So the next 3 games, we will not see Laporta on the field. Obviously, that hurts this Lions offense. We could see it on Sunday. He's out with a back injury, and he had 40 catches for 489 yards and 3 touchdowns already this season, which was second on the team behind Amon-Ra St. Brown. So Bradford, I'll just start with you. How does losing a security blanket tight end like that change what Dan Campbell and John Morton want to do on early downs and in the red zone in these games?
Yeah, I mean, it's the obvious move is move to more 11 personnel. And Jake, what's 11 personnel?
That one's easy. 1 running back and 1 tight end.
Thank you.
I thought of you guys. The college football game I was at, there was a guy holding the personnel cards, and I was like, that's my dude, man. I've been there before. It is a scary place to be.
So, but the obvious answer is use more 11 personnel. And then what they showed in the Philadelphia game was to, insert Dan Skipper in possible run situations to take the place of Brock Wright, who is taking the place of Sam Laporta. Then, if you use that 11 personnel, you have to use it wisely. And are you going to use 6 or 7-man protection with the running back and the tight end and let your other 3 wide receivers get out and run their routes? But it's having Laporta there, like you said, Nat, as a security blanket. It's you can't put a premium on that. He does a great job, and he's a nice complement in this offense in helping the Detroit Lions move the ball down the field. He is going to be missed, but other players have to pick up where he is getting left off.
As far as the rest of the injury report goes, to wrap this up, as far as no practice on Wednesday, Brian Branch with his toe injury, Kirby Joseph still out with the knee injury, Penei Sewell ankle, Taylor Decker shoulder, and Terrion Arnold concussion. As far as guys who had limited practice this week, Tate Ratledge, who we saw go down on Sunday, he had limited practice with a knee injury, Isaac Tesla oblique, and Brock Wright ankle. So you got to hope those hopefully get cleaned up and hopefully they're okay for Sunday's game. And then as for the Giants, Kayvon Thibodeau, shoulder, Darius Slayton, hamstring. And then as we know, they have a lot of guys that have been banged up on that injury report, from Malik Neighbors, Cam Scattaboo, multiple DBs. They just have a long injury list overall. And the biggest one that we'll be waiting to see is if their quarterback will be back on Sunday afternoon. So that is what the injury report looks like as of now, you guys. But again, I'm not gonna say the phrase that Bradford doesn't like to hear. But Sunday's game is going to be a game that the Lions need to, Jake,
have every opportunity to return to the prowess on both sides of the ball and exhibit the ability to be the superior team.
That sounded a lot more beautiful than the way we were.
Let's just say this is one game they have to have.
All right, I like it. I like
it. Must win. Boom.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, okay.
So how are they going to do it?
Yeah, they are going to exploit the Giants in every aspect of which they're superior. And how about that? Both sides of the ball and special teams, all three phases.
Nat with the tease. That's
that was
right?
the tease.
Oh, that was a rhetorical question. Now you're asking me. I was ready to go.
I said Bradford. So how are they going to do that then?
And I just
got in and out. Did I miss the joke here or the memo?
Nope, that was all me. That, you know what? I blame my wired headphones. I'm just not. I got to clean out the ears and be able to hear better. But I got the wired headphones today, so I'm sorry I ruined your tease. That's on me.
Remember how much crap you gave me for the wired headphones episode 1? I forget that.
This is like these are real studio headphones. So you had like
bring it.
Like the
I'm batting 1,000 with the wired headphones game.
But they blend in with your shirt.
I know.
I feel like true. I don't even notice. You know?
I'm glad you said that, Nat. Bradford, like I want to see you wear something that you wouldn't wear to a funnel one time. You know, like you're all black. Both of you guys actually today. Did I not get the memo?
Yeah, why are we depressing today?
Yeah, seriously. Is it an all black kind of Thursday, or what are we doing here?
No, this is my uniform.
Yeah, it is.
You know, I got a job to perform. This is my uniform. This is my mode. It helps me get my mojo.
So
I love it.
Really. Yeah, it is kind of, I don't know if it's the weather.
The weather. We'll take it. Coach's Corner coming up next. Quick break, and we're back on a live Locked On Lions squad show on the #1 sports podcast network, the Locked On Podcast Network, which, did you both know, really emphasizes the importance of the audio side of things. So it's a great reminder that you can find the audio version of this episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you don't find the audio version of today's show, so help me God.
Okay. Is that my lead in?
Yeah, that's how I'm
okay.
To you.
That was
that was a heck of a lead in, man. I tell you. So,
yep, just right, coaching myself up a little bit here.
Yeah, so let's start with the obvious, shall we?
Shall we?
Okay. Yes. Look, Detroit is top 5 scoring. They're averaging 29.2 a game, and Giants are bottom 5, allowing 27.3 points per game, and that's where you're going to live as a play caller. And it feels like that Dan is going to have the entire book open and ready to call whatever play he dials up. It's just going out and executing. And because the Giants have allowed a ton of yards and have struggled, just watching a little bit of film on them, they've struggled with their run fits on defense. in the Lions with Sonic and Knuckles, I mean, they are a top tier rushing efficiency with Gibbs, and at 5.2 yards a carry. I mean, in Montgomery's at 4.5. I mean, you put those two numbers together, and I mean that's first and second down, that just about gives you a first down. So, and then on third down, you just got to keep it up. And I look for the Lions to attack them offensively just with running the ball, that inside outside zone, and then the duos, and just keep hitting it and call it until it stops working. Just wear them out.
I'm so sorry, real quick. I'm so glad you said that, because I felt like, and not to look too far into the past, but Ben Johnson sometimes would irritate me in that sense, where it felt like there'd be games where the Lions had this clear advantage, and he'd stop going to the well before the opposition would prove that they could stop it. If you have an advantage and you're able to continuously take advantage of that shortcoming defensively, just keep doing it.
Mm-hmm. And then what's going to happen is, the defense is going to get tired of it, and they're just going to start crowding the box, and then you run a play action, and then you hit JMO over the top. I mean, it sounds great in theory. Now, it just has to be applied out in real time out on the field. I would love to see them, because Marshall had brought something up where he thinks the Giants are going to be running the ball a bunch. You know what? Feel free, man. Feel free. Hopefully we force you in a bunch of 3-and-outs. And that's where I can see our guys just running to the right every time behind Sewell, depending on his health, and hopefully he gets that, that road grader healthy mentality going, and just keep pushing it down the field and just control the ball. It wouldn't surprise me if the Lions walked out of this game with a time of possession of about 40 minutes, with the amount of times that you would like to see them run the ball. And it's going to be a ball control game. And give it, the Giants are banged up. And doing a little bit, just talking about the pass now, the Giants are banged up a little bit in the secondary. You run Amon-Ra, you get him back on track with some option routes, and then hit JMO deep like we had just discussed earlier. And how do you do that, though? You just run those condensed formations. You run a little bit of motion, replace motion. And what I mean by replace motion is whenever a player leaves a spot motion and then zigzags back to that same, the secondary and the linebacker movement is going to tell you whether it's going to be man or zone. Once the play starts developing, because defenses are good at disguising the coverage, that's when you figure it out once the play gets going, what kind of coverage they're going to be playing. So, but look, this defense is leaky. And the only way that you lose is just by losing patience. And you can't lose patience if you're the Detroit Lions. Take what they give you, and the big plays are going to come. Last I checked, 2nd and 4 isn't all bad. And that means you're 6, gaining 6 on the first down. So I don't know. I'm curious to see how this game is going to be played and how Dan is going to manage the offense, but also manage the game as well, because he admitted it this week that he got a little caught up in going for it for 4th down, even though the defense was playing well, and he put the defense in a bad position. Just from a field position standpoint, by going for it instead of punting the ball and making the Philadelphia Eagles drive the long field. Instead, he gave them the short field by not achieving 4th down success. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm curious to see what happens. And then defensively, it's stop the run. I mean, if they're going to run the ball, okay. Look, our front seven is better than yours. And you just can't let them get going. And it has to be a series of 3 and outs. You put them to bed early by punching them in the mouth early and often. And then because that attitude of not thinking that you're going to win has already creeped into their mind because of the way that they have lost, talking about the Giants, because of the way that they have lost games in this season in the past. They know that they can give up a lead at any point in time. So why not put it in their mind early by going up on them quickly and then just keep the pedal to the metal and rocking and rolling?
I love the sounds of that. I love the sounds of that. Rocking and rolling, baby.
Yeah. And then, so you look at the Lions defense, how do they handle that? Because the Lions, their rushing game, they're top 10 rushing game, but we know that going in. And Dart is a legit dual threat. And Marshall did a good job of saying that Dart does an excellent job of scrambling to pass. And that's where quarterbacks find a lot of success that are mobile, who give the threat of running. And then whenever those secondary or linebackers come off and they're able to, they think they're going to get a hit on the quarterback because they think they're running, they leave their responsibility. And that's where Dart takes advantage of it. And he makes things happen. He's an athletic quarterback, but yeah, look, you got to treat him like a running back. And once he gets outside the pocket, you got to hammer him. And who would you rather face? Would you rather face Jackson Dart or would you rather face Jameis Winston? And if there's you get hit so many times, there's only so many times that you can get up as a quarterback. And that's what the Detroit Lions have to do. They have to turn the page from last week, make Jackson Dart feel them, and then he has to ask him question while he's on the ground. Do I really want to get up and do this again? That's the question he has to be asking himself. So
I love it. I love it. Final thoughts on the Coach's Corner before we send us all on our way on the #1 sports podcast platform with some score predictions.
Hey, look, given Detroit's special teams history and the noise at Ford Field, so I think the hidden yardage game is going to go to the Detroit Lions in this case.
I love it. Nat?
Okay. I think the Lions, we're not giving our score predictions yet, right? We're saving that.
No, go for it. Go for it. We're wrapping up. We're tying a bow on this, baby. We're almost at time.
Are we? Okay. So
yeah, once that 1 hour buzzer hits, I'm out of here, man.
Okay. Jake says, we're done here. I've already got
right.
crap.
I got other shows to do, people.
All right. I think the Lions, obviously, they've learned a lot this week. I think they went back to the drawing board and said, we got to get back to who we are and what we do. So the Lions were averaging over 30 points a game, you guys. So I think they're going to get back to that. I really do have a feeling against this banged up Giants team. So I think my score prediction for this one is going to be, let's go, I'm going to say 34-17.
I like it. I'm of the same thought about not necessarily a blowout. And Bradford, I'll give you the final word because I love your score predictions. There's always some kind of reasoning behind them, but I'm going to get crazy with it because I tried to get crazy last week and it blew up in my face. So just keep hammering it, going back for it. I'm saying 41-14 Lions.
Oh,
ooh.
I kind of like that too, though.
What
you
would you
know why?
41-14?
Yeah, 41-14.
Yeah, please tell me. Enlighten us, please.
I think the Giants are a bad football team. I think the Lions are a really good football team. I feel better about this Detroit Lions team. I probably shouldn't have saved this until we have 20 seconds left. I feel better about this Detroit Lions team than last year's. They're healthier. They've shown a lot defensively, and in time, I think the offense will continue to find its way. And it feels like a more complete football team than last year. And when you have an inferior opponent like the Giants in all aspects, there's no reason why a good team can't just go out and continuously dominate. And on top of that, if we know Dan Campbell like we think we do, and we do, there's no letting up. And the running up the score bullshit that people get into, who gives a damn? Like, just keep going out executing and punish the opposition. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen at Ford Field on Sunday.
Let's go.
Just like my Timberwolves at Top Taggart Field on Saturday against Ferris State. That's for Papa Kerwin.
I don't know about that one. I would. He's not home, or else I'd call him here right now.
Shock the world, baby.
You guys got to chat this week. You guys will chat.
Here's my Northwood mini helmet, baby. I've got 3 of them. Roll Timbies.
I got a Lions mini helmet.
All right, I love that.
I got a Ferris one up.
Yeah, they're going to be in all black on Sunday.
The Lions are?
Yeah.
The Motor City Muscle unis.
Really? I didn't see that. They're really wearing their all blacks on yeah. I thought they always saved those for like a Monday night game or something.
So, evidently not.
Look at that.
All right. Bradford, did you give your score?
I didn't. Jake just wanted to go overboard, but I'm good. So, do I need to give a score here, Jake?
Yes, you absolutely do. We need it.
I got you. Yeah, I'm saying 35-17.
I like it. 35-17. Let me document all this. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Oh, there it is. Roll Timbies. Roll Timbies.
I had to.
I love it. It is a good looking helmet. I will say that. I've got the old school Northwood helmet back there, signed by Tony Dungy, friend of the program. So look at that. And so we got the white one here, we got the light blue one back there, and then I got a navy one here somewhere too. But all right. So Bradford, one more time. Let me write it. You said something 35-17.
Yeah.
All right, 35-17 is Bradford's. Okay. Appreciate everybody tuning in. If you missed the live version in the video, you can be damn sure you will get the audio version. That is a GD promise from here on out. There's not a lot of things you can count on in life, but what you can count on from here on forward is the audio version of the live Locked On Lions squad show. Bradford Banta, Natalie Kerwin, Jake Riepma, thanks so much for tuning in. And we will see everybody Sunday afternoon for the post-game show between the Detroit Lions and New York Giants. Our thanks to Marshall Green, host of Giants Now, for hopping on. Have a wonderful rest of your Thursday or whenever you're listening to this. And if you're catching the audio version, you're welcome. Talk to you next time.